The hostel corridor hummed with the faint echoes of life, students rushing past with books clutched to their chests, voices drifting in gossip and laughter, and the distant clang of the cafeteria bell. Yet room 312 remained oddly still. Inside, the air was heavy, thick with the residue of tears and the faint scent of expensive perfume that no longer smelled sweet. Vanessa lay sprawled on her bed, her usually flawless hair loose and unkempt, her phone clutched tightly in her hand as if it were her last lifeline. The glow of the screen reflected her swollen eyes. Ruth, across the room, pretended to study, her pen dragging slowly across her notebook. She could feel the tension pressing down between them like an unspoken storm. By the next morning, Vanessa had painted herself back into perfection. A flawless weave, gold hoop earrings, red heels clicking against the tiles. She strutted through the campus courtyard as though nothing had broken inside her. Students turned to stare, whispering about the rumors that now clung to her name like perfume.
Did you hear? The lecturer again.
She's only passing because of him. But she looks so unbothered.
She was unbothered, at least on the outside. But behind every confident smile was a shaking hand scrolling through unanswered messages, desperate for a lifeline from the sponsors who had abandoned her one by one. Meanwhile, Ruth's quiet world was being pulled into danger. In the lecture hall, she sat in her usual place, second row, left side, Bible tucked neatly beneath her textbooks. She copied notes diligently, highlighters moving in straight lines. The lecturer's voice echoed from the podium, deep and steady, yet his eyes kept drifting toward her. Too often. Too long. When class ended, students shuffled out quickly, but Ruth remained behind to finish her notes. That's when it happened. His shadow fell across her desk.
You work very hard.
He said, his tone smooth, too personal.
Not like most students these days. You remind me of dedication.
Ruth's pen froze midline. She looked up, forcing a polite smile, then quickly gathered her things. His eyes lingered, following her as she slipped out the door. That night, she knelt by her bed in room 312, whispering prayers more urgently than ever. Lord, protect me. Don't let me fall into temptation. The faint sound of Vanessa's laughter from the phone on the other side of the room felt like mockery, though even that laughter carried cracks now. Sunday came. After service, Ruth sat under the neem tree with her church friends. They leaned close, their voices low, their eyes serious.
Be careful, Ruth. That lecturer, people are talking. Don't let yourself get dragged into it.
And living with her, that girl Vanessa, it's dangerous. Evil spirits linger where sin is thick. Ruth lowered her gaze, defensive yet conflicted. She's not all bad, she murmured. She shares her food with me sometimes. She's hurting more than people know. The others exchanged glances. They didn't argue further, but their silence said everything. That same night, Ruth returned to room 312 to find something strange. Vanessa sat at the desk, Ruth's desk, scribbling furiously into a notebook. Her face was pale with determination, lips pressed tight. She snapped the book shut the moment Ruth entered, sliding it under a pile of shopping bags. You're back early, Vanessa said, too casually. Ruth said nothing, only nodded and unpacked her own books. But her eyes lingered on the desk. Something felt wrong. Meanwhile, Vanessa's phone kept buzzing with messages she dared not open. Threats from her ex-sponsor. Promises of exposure. And then, the most terrifying one, if you don't give me back what I spent, you'll regret ever meeting me. As exams drew closer, Ruth spent her nights bent over her textbooks, highlighting every page, whispering scripture to herself when the words blurred together. Vanessa, on the other hand, grew quieter, her smile fading more with each day. She seemed to spend more time near Ruth's side of the room than her own, borrowing books, checking notes, or watching closely. One evening, as Ruth left for the library, Vanessa's hand darted to Ruth's folder. She slipped a finished assignment into it, not with Ruth's name, but her own, scribbled in careful imitation of Ruth's handwriting. That night, Ruth returned to find Vanessa already in bed, facing the wall. The room was still, yet heavy, as if secrets hung in the air like smoke. Ruth sat at her desk, unaware of the storm preparing to break over her life. She whispered one final prayer before sleep: "Lord, keep me in your light." On the other side of the room, Vanessa opened her eyes in the dark, wide and restless. Her thoughts raced, not of faith, but of survival.